Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about the inductive effect, that is one of the effect due to the electron displacement in the covalent bond. So before discussing about inductive effect, let us consider the two atoms. These are the two different atoms. So when the two different atoms forms a covalent bond, so definitely what happens, the one of the element, if it is more electronegative, let B is more electronegative than the A. In such case, when it forms a bond between these two atoms, that are the two different atoms of different electronegativity, then the shared pair of electron, because of the greater tendency of more electronegative element to attract the electron pair toward itself. Since here we have considered letter B is the more electronegative than A. So the B have greater tendency to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. So because of this reason, the bond which is formed between the A and B, we can say that the electron is more closer to the B because the electron density is quite closer, or we can say it have greater electron density near to the B. So such bond is called as polar covalent bond. And because of this only, it develops a partial positive charge on A and the partial negative charge on the B, because the electron density are quite closer, or it is near to the B. That's why it develops a partial negative charge and the A develops a partial positive charge. So such bond is called as polar covalent bond. So let us consider the case of an organic molecule, that is we'll take the example of chloroethane here. This is chloroethane. In this chlorine, this is more electronegative. So because of this, as we know that the bond between which is formed here, that is a covalent bond. Due to the electronegativity differences, the bond that is the bond which is formed between these two, that is actually the polar bond. And here the electron density will be quite closer to the Cl. So as a result here, the partial negative charge will be developed on the Cl and the partial positive charge will be developed on the carbon of this, that is the first carbon which is represented here. So in this case, because CCl bond is a polar covalent bond and it is polarized in such a way that the carbon 1 gains some positive charge, that is represented here partial positive charge, and the chlorine develops here some negative charge, that is what called as partial negative charge. So here the fraction of electronic charges on the two atoms in a polar covalent bond are denoted by symbol delta. That is what it is written here. Delta, it is denoted by delta, and the shift of the electron density, it is shown here by an arrow. You can see an arrow that is showing the shift of electron density, that is towards Cl. That means the electron density is shifting towards the Cl because Cl is more electronegative. So the arrow sign will be towards the Cl. So this fraction of electronic charges on the two atoms, it is represented by delta, that is partial negative charge on Cl, and partial positive charge, that is represented as plus delta. And the shift of the electron density is shown by an arrow. So these are the very most important point why we have used the arrow and why these arrow are towards Cl. When we compare the arrow between the first carbon and Cl, why this arrow is towards Cl? Because the shift of electron density will be towards the more electronegative, that is Cl. Due to this, the partial positive charge which is developed on the first carbon, that is represented here partial positive charge, it draws, or we can say it withdraws the electron of this covalent bond towards itself, because being positively charged, that is having some positive charges, it withdraws the electron towards itself. So because of this reason, what happened, again a small charges will be developed on the second carbon, that is represented by 2 delta 1 positive charge, and this charge, that is the double delta with positive charge, symbolizes relatively smaller positive charge as compared to the what the charge is developed on the first carbon. So double delta represent that the fraction of these charges will be smaller in compared to the first one. So here again we can say that the partial positive charge is developed, and further when there is another carbon here, so again there will be a partial positive charge, so in that we'll be writing triple delta with positive charge, which is relatively smaller charge in compared to 2 delta positive. So this is what actually is taking place in the carbon chain. So what we can conclude from this one, because of the presence of the electronegative, greater electronegative element in the chain, the electron will be shifting. We can say the electron is, the displacement of electron is taking place towards it. So towards the more electronegative element, the electron density will be shifted along the carbon chain. So this is what actually called as inductive effect. So how we define this one? The process of electron displacement along the chain of a carbon atoms due to the presence of a polar covalent bond at one end. As it is here, there is a polar covalent bond at one end, and what we can see here, there is a displacement of electron along the carbon chain. That is, along the carbon chain, the displacement of electron is taking place, and that is due to the presence of more electronegative element, that is Cl. Due to this bond is actually polar covalent bond. This effect, or the displacement of electron along the carbon chain due to the presence of a covalent bond at one end, this effect is called as, that is inductive effect. The very most important point which will be usually used in many of the reasoning question, that is inductive effect. So once again, how we define this one? The process of electron displacement along the chain of a carbon atom due to the presence of a polar covalent bond at one end. This effect is called as inductive effect. So the inductive effect is related to the ability of substituents to either withdraw or donate the electron density to the attached carbon, and this effect is actually the depending upon the a substitute. There are some substitute which have a tendency to withdraw the electron density, or some have the tendency to donate the electron density to the attached carbon atom. So based on this ability, the substituent groups can be classified as electron withdrawing group. So the group can be classified as electron withdrawing group. I am using the short term EWG, electron withdrawing group. That means the ability of some of the group to withdraw the electron, that is what called as electron withdrawing group. And there are some substitute which has the ability to donate the ability to donate the electron density. It's not donating the electron, means it have a tendency to release the electron density to the attached carbon atom. So that group is called as electron donating group, that is relating to the hydrogen. So this we have come up with the two important terms here, that is that groups can be either electron withdrawing group, that means that the group which have a tendency to withdraw the electron towards itself, and some have the tendency to release the electron or donate the electron density, that is called as electron donating group, which can also called as electron releasing group. So let us take some examples of such groups like nitro group, NO2. NO2 is a very good electron withdrawing group. Cyano group, we have the other aryl oxy. These are the important electron withdrawing group. Even the carboxy group, aster group, these all are electro withdrawing group. That means they withdraws the electron. But some groups are there which have the tendency to donate or release the electron density. That means the electron density will be away from it. That is what the very most important example is the alkyl group. Whatever the R, that is the alkyl groups are there, they are the very most good electron donating group. So we will be discussing more about details of this effect when we do a particle reasoning type of question, that is due to the presence of how the electron withdrawing group will affect the some of the properties and how the electron donating group affect the properties. So here we have some problem in the textbook, that is a problem 12.14, that is a text solved problem. Which bond is more polar in the following pairs of molecule? That means the two molecules are given here. First case, A case, two molecules are given and it was asked that which bond is more polar. And the polarity depends upon the electronegativity. So when you compare, here there is CH bond. So when you compare CH bond and in this there is CBr. So can we consider both as same? No, because these are the two different. So here there is some electronegativity differences. So when you compare, here hydrogen is there and here Br is there, and we know that Br is more electronegative element. That means here the bonding between the carbon and Br is more polar. So polarity, that is actually polarity depends upon the electronegativity of the element. In compared to the hydrogen, Br is more electronegative because it is a halogen. As we have learnt that left to right in the periodic table, electronegativity character increases. That means the Br is more electronegative. So this pair have a greater polarity because the reason is given CBr, since Br is more electronegative than hydrogen. Let us take the second case, the B case. In this case, what is given to us? CnH2. That means the bond between C and N, and the second, the bond is between CON. So here Cn and CO. Now both are carbon on the side, but what we have here, one is nitrogen and one oxygen. So which is more electronegative, nitrogen or oxygen? Definitely oxygen, because when you compare its position in the periodic table, after nitrogen only oxygen come, because oxygen it is in the group 16 and nitrogen is in the 15 group. So that's why O is more electronegative. So greater will be the polarity of this bond. So that is what it is given, CO bond. CO bond is more polar. What will be the reason? You have to write, because O is more electronegative than the nitrogen. What about the third case? In the third case, here it is CO bond, CO, and here CS. Now it is given, the bond is given actually here in the form, in the question itself. So when you compare the polarity of these two, so which one is more electronegative? As we know that oxygen and sulfur belong to the same group, that is the 16 group. So which one is more electronegative? As we know that top to bottom electronegativity character decreases. So that means that the top member will have greater electronegative character. Therefore, we can say that top to bottom electronegativity is decreasing. That's why the oxygen have greater electronegative element than the sulfur. That's why this bond is more polar. So what is the answer for third case? That is a CO is more polar. So this is what the problem 12.14. Next 12.15, in which CC bond of this molecule, the inductive effect is expected to be the least. So here we have to say that here 3 carbon atoms are there. So in which case, in which bond there is a least inductive effect, because the magnitude of inductive effect diminishes as the number of intervening bonds increases. So the effect is least in the bond between the carbon third and hydrogen. So because the polar bond is between the first carbon and Br, this is the first carbon and Br. So the bond, that is the polar bond, is between the first carbon, that is what I am once again I will make, that is between the first carbon and the Br. This is the second carbon, this is the third carbon. So when we move back, that means the carbon which is away from the electronegative element, that will have the least positive charge. So here we can say that the effect will be least in the bond between the carbon third and hydrogen, because it will be quite distance from this Br. So that is what the answer for this one. So what we can write here, the magnitude of inductive effect diminishes as the number of intervening bonds increases. So hence the effect will be least for the third carbon. So how you can easily identify, just compare which one is the most at the distance from the electronegative element or the polar bond. So these are the very most important point we have discussed here, inductive effect. So what is the electron withdrawing group and electron donating group? So the application of these will be discussed in the future classes. So this is all about this video. Have a nice day.